Let me show you my little buddy if he's here. He's usually here. Oh, maybe not today. They've took him in. Don't like me to see him because he's a little joy in my otherwise shit life. I can't see him. Maybe he's not there. Maybe they have took him in. It's a very gang-stalkery thing to do, isn't it? Where I used to live, I would walk past this dog quite a lot. The dog in its garden, and it was really friendly little thing. I used to stop and make a fuss of it whenever I passed, and then obviously the gang stalkers got hold of the owner and said, "How dare you be letting our target have any enjoyment in seeing your dog and interacting with your dog? How dare you?" And propositioned them, made them stop letting the dog come out to me, so they put it on a lead now. It was in a fenced front garden, but they put it on a lead, a really short lead, so it couldn't reach the fence. So I wouldn't be able to make a fuss of it. I could still see it. It was nice, you know. I used to go past it and I would talk to it, and it would be there. It would be desperate to come over to me, wagging its little tail and whining, you know. But the bastard owners had put an end to me being able to make a fuss of it, you know. It's the kind of shit that they do. It's fucking sad and pathetic. It really is. It really, really is. So, you know, you tell people. If you told people this, if you told normal people this, they'd be like, "Fuck off, shut up." No, that shit doesn't happen. No one's wasting their time chaining up a dog so you don't get the enjoyment of making a fuss of it. But believe me, they do the strangest of stuff. So, yeah. I walk past, they're doing some roadworks. They're always doing fucking roadworks. Always doing roadworks. As soon as I move into an area, the amount of building work and renewing work of buildings, you know, the amount of fucking scaffolding that goes up when I move into an area is beyond belief. You know, the amount of money that I must bring to the area just by being there. They do lots and lots of infrastructure. As soon as I get somewhere, I notice that scaffolding pops up all over the fucking place. People are getting their houses re-rendered, they're getting their windows replaced, they're getting conservatories built, they're getting new kitchens and bathrooms. It's fucking madness. The roads are getting dug up and replaced. It's you know, the money soon comes to the area, definitely, as soon as I fucking move in. I've had neighbours during the COVID scam, and none of my neighbours were going to work. I was the only person on the street that was going to work. They're all gang stalkers, you know. One of them at the end, her name's, I've done a post, she's in a short. So there's not a picture of her because shortly after my gang stalking went overt, they've removed all their pictures of themselves from most social media sites, and mostly I can't find half of them because they've put a kind of bar on me being able to search for them. So most of them don't show up when I search their names. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, her name was Nicola de Goy, and Goy means in Hebrew non-Jew. Her name's Nicola de Goy, and her son's name is Sol, S-O-L. It's very interesting, isn't it? But her and her husband weren't working during the COVID thing. Like I said, I was the only person in the street that was going out every day to work, and they were getting, you know, they got a new bathroom and they got their windows replaced, and they were getting all work done inside. And my other neighbours on another side of me, Karen and Craig Blair, they were getting all kinds of work done, you know. For the whole 11 years that I lived there, they were Craig Blair, who I went to school with both of them. I went to school with Karen, and her name was Karen Brown, and then she married Craig Blair. They're both gang stalking trash. They had a Ring doorbell. My window, my kitchen window, kind of faced on to the front of their houses, the front door of their house, the way that the houses were aligned, you know, it was like terraced houses, but just the way they were all kind of set on the street. All the neighbour's kitchen window kind of looked onto the next door neighbour's front door. And Craig put a Ring doorbell camera up facing into my kitchen. You know, not facing out onto the street, which you would have thought, you know, you would do if you you would want everything that's going past on the street, wouldn't you, to show up on your Ring doorbell? No, it was facing directly into my kitchen, so that any time I was in the kitchen walking past the window, he obviously got a notification of where I was in the house. I mean, they had cameras in my house anyway, so throughout my house, but yeah, I found it very interesting. Karen and Craig Blair, Karen Brown and Craig Blair, gang stalkers extraordinaire. They're also facilitating people, because they were next door, they were facilitating the people that were breaking into my house. And I bought this Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi in my house wasn't very good upstairs, so I bought a Wi-Fi extender to plug in so that I could get a better signal when I was upstairs. And I bought it and I kind of set it up, and then it went missing. You know, the box was still there, but the Wi-Fi extender was missing. And around the same time, again, you have to take into consideration the fact that I was drinking quite heavily at this time. You know, there was a couple of years, about a year or 2 years period of time where I was drinking quite heavily. You know, I had a lot of things going on in my life, and I turned to alcohol. Taxis always follow me around. Taxis are all gang stalkers. So this Wi-Fi extender went missing, and again, like I said, I was drinking, so a lot of things were happening, and I was gaslighting myself. I was putting them down to my own mislaying of things, my own behaviour, and to be honest, I was more concerned about where my next drink was coming from rather than spending any time looking for these missing things or these weird things that were happening within my house. Around about the same time, there's a new Wi-Fi network popped up, and it was Blair, which was the name of the next door neighbour's Wi-Fi extender. You know, my my Wi-Fi extender had gone missing out of my house, but I still had the box. But then all of a sudden, Blair Wi-Fi extender pops up. You know, it's been taken out of my house. You know, and my Wi-Fi has been extended to everyone around because they were all logged into it. And they were all kind of watching what it was that I was doing within my house, and you know, cowards, part of the gang stalking system of cowards. But yeah, for the whole kind of 11 years that I lived there, Craig Blair was, I would say, at least 2 days a week, for whole days. I mean, this is between their dog barking constantly. They had this dog that they let bark constantly, and I mean constantly. This was like hours and hours every day. This fucking little cunt dog barking. They never even used to walk the dog. There was a tiny patch of grass outside the door. I had a dog as well at the time, and I used to take her for, you know, walk for, you know, 6 miles, 5-6 miles out into the countryside. But these fuckers, these lazy gang stalking trash, never walked the dog. They used to walk it round the square patch. You used to just let it shit all over the garden. Their back garden was covered in dog shit. They're filth. They'd let their kids out there as well on the trampoline, you know. They put the trampoline right next to my fence. It was a reasonable, you know, we had reasonable sized gardens, but they put the trampoline right up against my fence, so that it was touching the fence, the dividing fence between us, so that every time their children bounced on the trampoline, it's a 6-foot fence, they were looking over, you know, and screaming and making as much noise as possible, as close to my house as possible. It's just part of the tactics that they use, you know, trying to annoy the shit out of you wherever they can, using their children and their little gang stalking. I mean, the children are going to grow up to be trash, because they're not going to know any different, because their parents are trash. But for the whole time, as well as their dog barking continuously, he would drill and hammer and saw, you know. This was at least twice a week. He was doing seemingly these projects that lasted 11 years in his house, you know, just constant drilling, sawing, hammering constantly. Towards the end, before my targeting really went overt, you know, before I knew, I was kind of told exactly what it was that they were up to. They would send their children home. They had children at young teenagers, like 13 to 15, I think. And they would tell their children to come home at lunchtime. This was on the lead up to me being kind of cuckooed out my house and finding out that all these people had been involved, part of this for years. And they would send their children home with their daughter. Her name was Emma. I think her name's Campbell. I think fat bitch Karen Blair was married before to a man called Campbell. I don't know his first name. I think he went to school. I think we all went to the same school. We're in the same year, She obviously doesn't get fucking out much, She's got a sad little life. She lives up the road from her old school and she's never left the town that she lives in. She's a typical Karen, She definitely deserves that name. Just a fucking horrible hound looking thing. A big fat nosy fucking piece of shit. She was one of the ones out banging a pot for NHS, gang stalking trash. Usual shit that they do. They want to be seen to be doing good in the community, they're all they're all about the charity, these cunts, and about just be kind while she's gang stalking and filming me in my house using her children to target me. Anyway, yeah, she would send her daughter Emma to come home at lunchtime, and her school friends would stand outside my house banging on their windows, but enough so that I would hear it, and screaming and shouting for an hour every lunchtime, And then the daughter would go back to school, and then Craig would carry on with his drilling and banging and hammering, for the next 5-6 hours. In between the dog barking in the summer, the smell of shit coming over the fence from the amount of dog shit in their garden. Just typical trash behaviour of trash people, really, But yeah, between the Blairs and Nicola the non-Jew with her son named Saul. It's very interesting, isn't it? I find the names interesting. They're all put there for a specific reason. Nicola, see how close he came to me? ST06HUG. Yeah, they're all put there for a specific reason. Nicola never spoke to me. Neither did the Blairs. Never spoke to me for the first 7 or 8 years that I lived in that house, and then they started talking to me. Once one spoke to me, the other one spoke to me as well. It's weird little weird little narcissistic gang stalkery friendship they had going on. But Nicola I was only in her house once, and it was absolutely stinking. She stunk. I think she worked in a school kitchen as a dinner lady, and she fucking stunk. I don't know, there was just a smell of grease coming off her. She's a really fucking ugly woman as well, but not much going for her. Fucking ugly and stinks. Whereas Karen Blair I don't think she stank, but she was fat and ugly. Face caked in makeup to hide the kind of witchiness about her. Anyway, it's enough of me slagging off my neighbours. I'm sure they're watching. I'm sure they still try to pay attention to everything that I do in my life. They're absolutely obsessed, jealous, horrible women. That's what this programme is kept going by. Obsessed, jealous women. That's who runs this show. People talk about Mother. It's definitely a show run by women. You can see by the vile nastiness about it. Only women could behave like that. And these two were typical nasty kind of women. Nasty, bitter, twisted, horrible bitches. Anyway, hi Nicola, hi Karen. It's funny, I had to sign up. I had to use this discount store. You have to sign up for a card, and they asked for your address, so I gave Karen Blair's address. This was a while ago, it made me laugh though. So I gave Karen Blair's address because it was next door to mine. And they asked for my name, and I said my first name was Karen, my surname was Stalker. So I hope she enjoyed that when she got that through the post. That would have made me laugh if I'd have been there. But when I got back that day, when I got off the train and I was walking towards where I live, a van went past me with Stalker written on it. So, that's how fast this matrix operates. But anyway, ramble. Take care. Lots of love. Karen, Nicola, I hope you die, cunts. Take care. Bye-bye.